You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
We're now joined with Tim in the studio. Tim, it's always good to have you here at BRFM.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel.
Now, I know you wanted to start off by talking about dogs on leads on the highway.
I did because we've introduced the dogs on lead on the highway policy, and just wanted to really explain. We've had a bit of confusion as to what it really means. It isn't a blanket ban on dogs being off leads across the borough. All we're really asking is for people to be responsible, so that when they're walking their dog on the road, on the highways, and by highway I mean anywhere where there's cars, pavements, just to keep the dog on the lead. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, my dog is really well trained, and of course it won't run anywhere, but any dog at some point could be distracted or could run out into the road. We've got a very good relationship with the local RSPCA branch. Very lucky to be able to work alongside them. And in Sheppey alone, in a period of 6 months, they had 16 cases where members of the public approached them because their pets had been injured by being hit by cars. And let's face it, the RSPCA, as good as they are volunteers. All their funding, it comes from voluntary sources. They get no funding from government or anybody. And they were being asked to help subsidise the vet's bills for these dogs that were hit by cars. And it really just wasn't fair. So what we're saying is, look, we know that a lot of people have dogs that are very well trained, but it just makes sense if you're a responsible dog owner and you're on the road, on the pavement, put your dog on a lead. If you're out in fields and things, that's fine, but keep them on a lead when you're walking on the highway. Now, to enforce this, I mean, what we will do, myself, our environment wardens, police community support officers, if we see people that are walking dogs off of a lead, so they haven't got a lead on the dog, then we will just go up to them and ask them to put the dog on the lead and explain why we're doing it. And it's not for the council to be bossy to people. It just makes sense to do that. And I think the majority of people are responsible and they will put their dog on a lead. Now, there is, if people just refuse and say, look, I'm not doing that, then we can actually issue a fixed penalty notice for £80 reduced to 60 if paid within 7 days. We can do that. But that's not what this is about. It's really trying to safeguard the dogs, make sure there aren't any road traffic accidents. And so we're just asking the members of the public that own dogs, be responsible. If you're walking your dog on the road, please just keep it on a lead.
Tim, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about dogs being left in hot coals. Although it doesn't seem quite like that today. I was thinking just a minute ago that even on a day like today, it's quite humid, and I had to lock the car up. And once all the windows were round up, even in that short time, that car felt very warm, even on a day like today.
No, it does, and you're quite right. I mean, I looked at these this afternoon and I thought to myself, well, obviously we do chat before we come up here, and this seemed a very pertinent question for June, and here we are in the middle of the wettest drought in history. But no, you're quite right. Although when it's overcast it feels quite cold, and if there's wind, as soon as there's a break in the clouds, the sun comes through, and it's incredible how quickly a car will heat up. Even if windows are left open slightly, you'd only leave them open, half an inch for security reasons, and it can get really, really hot in there. So dogs, and any pet in fact, anything, but let's talk about dogs. Dogs, they really just lose body heat through their tongue by panting. And if they're left in a car very, very quickly, they will just pass out. And if anyone, as I have, has attended a car when a dog has collapsed in it, and indeed, seen the dog die, it's a horrendous way to die. So what we're asking is, look, if it's really hot, or if you're going out and there's a chance that it's going to get hot, or any time of, this time of year, if you're going out, just leave the dog at home. He'll be quite happy indoors, or wherever you leave them, but don't take them shopping, because 20 minutes and your dog's dead. And it's, there's been some cases where very responsible people have just been sidetracked, left their dog in the car or in their vehicle, thought the dog was safe, got back to it, and the dog is dead. So it's just really reminding people, look, it is the summer, it will hot up. When you're going out, leave the dog at home.
Now, I also know you wanted to cover no dogs on the beach during the summer months, Tim.
I do, because again, this is one of those controversial things where people think it's just the council being horrible to people. What we try to do is strike a balance between dog owners being able to enjoy their dogs and enjoy themselves with the dogs, and people that don't have dogs not being bothered by dogs. There's a lot of dogs there, wasn't there? We've got a dog control order which says that the three main beaches on Sheppey, so that's Sheerness from what we class as Jacob's Point, it's about where Tesco's is, right up to Kay's Casino.
Right.
From in Minster, just about the Player Club up to what I call the Little Oyster, okay?
Yep.
And then lays down on the promenade at the bottom. From May through till the end of September, dogs are not allowed on the beaches at all, and if they're on the promenade areas, they have to be kept on the lead. Now, this is really to allow people to enjoy the beaches without having the problems of dog fouling or any, a staffy coming up and trying to nick the picnic or something. But that doesn't mean to say that dogs aren't allowed on all beaches. We have got a lot of coastline on Sheppey, and there's some great areas where you can take your dog. For example, in Sheerness, go past Kay's Casino up to the yacht club, nice area of beach, dogs are very welcome all year round up there. In Minster, if you go past the Little Oyster up towards what I class the cliffs, the old boom defence area, if you're a local person, you know where I mean. Again, dogs are very welcome up there. All we ask is, as always with dogs, keep them under control at all times, and of course, always clear up any dog mess that they make.
We are this evening talking to Tim Oxley, the Animal Control Officer for Swale. We often catch up with Tim a couple of times a year here at the Monday Night Community Show. Tim, I now know you wanted to talk about dog fouling, some ongoing problems, and also the Green Dog Walking Scheme.
Yeah, I know, and I sometimes wonder, actually. I mean, every time I've been up here and everything I write about, the topic tends to be dog fouling, and I could think of much nicer things to spend my time thinking about, but it's a fact and it is a problem, and it just seems to never go away, and I don't understand why, because we will talk later on about responsible dog ownership, but surely everybody that owns a dog now and goes walking with that dog knows that when they're out and about, the dog at some point is going to want to, do its normal business and just take a bag with you and clean it up. But it doesn't happen, and we still get a staggering amount of reports about dog fouling problems across the whole borough, and particularly here on Sheppey. And it was a good time, I think, to also remind people that we do have the Green Dog Walker Scheme. Now, the Green Dog Walker Scheme is a community-led project which is really designed to make responsible dog owners just spread the news that clearing up after your dog isn't a problem, and it's something that everyone should be doing. Now, it's actually run here on Sheerness by Sheppey Matters, Sheppey Green Friends. And if you're interested in joining the scheme, it doesn't cost anything at all, but all you do is join up and make a pledge that you are a responsible dog owner, that every time you go out walking your dog, you will carry spare bags, and we do provide the bags, and even provide a little armband if you want to wear it, just to highlight the fact that you're part of the scheme. It's non-confrontational. The idea is that all you do if you see somebody that isn't picking up after their dog, you just say, "Oh, excuse me, you must have forgotten your bag. Here, I'll loan you one. Have a bag. Have one of mine." And it's really just to spread the news that way, on a nice, no confrontational way. And if you are interested in joining it, then you can certainly contact Sheppey Green Friends, Sheppey Matters, and their telephone number is 01795 583547.
Now, you mentioned responsible dog ownership. I was wondering if you can expand more on that, Tim.
Well, everything, again, that I'm talking about here, I suppose that summarises the lot. I happen to be a dog lover, lots of people are, but if you want to have a dog, then it is a huge responsibility, not only having to walk it and the obvious things of feeding it, but making sure that the dog is vaccinated, making sure that you have finances in place for the unexpected vet treatment. And just to remind you, it is an offence under the Animal Welfare Act 2006 not to offer any pet, that's not just dogs, but cats, hamsters, gerbils, any pet, veterinary treatment if they need it. So we really do recommend looking or investigating getting your pet insured, particularly dogs. So it's all part of that. And, of course, microchipping is another big thing. It has been in the news. Government are looking at compulsory microchipping at the moment. We've been championing microchipping now as long as I've been with the council and have run very successful schemes for low-cost microchipping, and we're indeed going to do the same again this year. However, we have got some good news that there are some local vets who currently for the month of June are offering microchipping at $4.99. So that's great news. If you want to contact Well Pets, their number is, you can Google it or look in the directory. Go along there. All you have to do is just phone them up, and for $4.99 they will microchip your dog for you for the month of June.
Tim, could you talk a little bit more about stray dogs for us?
Yeah, because it's always a big part of the job, and still very proud that we are the holder of the RSPCA Gold Award, and still the only local authority in Kent for the stray dog service. And it's probably the most obvious part of the dog warden part of my role. People often think, we go around like Lady and the Tramp with a van with a big net, chasing dogs. It's not really like that. Our aim is to rehome the dogs or get them back to their rightful owners first of all. But in 2008, I think, the police gave up responsibility for dealing with any stray dogs. So we do offer the out-of-hours service as well, and that's one thing I wanted to remind people, that if they find a dog and we're not available, it's not during office hours, then we have got a service that runs from 5 in the evening till 9 at night, and weekends from 9 until 9. So one of us will be on call for 7 days a week, basically. If between 9 and 9, 7 days a week. If you find a dog, then you can certainly get it back to us. But the whole thing about stray dogs, that's the frontline part that people think about. But then there is what happens to them afterwards, and always really making a plea to any members of the public: if you are looking for a new dog, then rather than getting a puppy and going through all the problems of having to train it and the house training and the wet patches on the carpet and skirting ball being chewed up, why not think about giving a home to one of the many dogs that are looking for homes? The local kennels that we use for all of our stray dog service, Jasmine Kennels in Breach Lane in Newington, they're always very happy for people to go along, phone up, make an appointment, and just have a look at some of the dogs they've got there, which they're offering homes for. So if you want to contact Jasmine, then give them a ring on 01795 842 466 and just see what they've got, because you'll be doing a dog a really big favour and just giving it a nice home.
Tim, before you go, were there any other useful contact details you'd like to give out?
Well, I think if I run through them all, for us at the council, anything dog related that you want to speak to us about, then the main council number is 01795 417 850. If it's for the stray dog service, then that's out of hours between, as I said, 5 and 9 in the evening, and then 9 till 9 Saturday and Sundays. That number's 07795 237 479. If you're looking at maybe offering a home to one of the stray dogs that we're trying to rehome, then give Jasmine Kennels a ring on 01795 842 466. And again, back to the Green Dog Walker scheme we spoke about earlier, Sheppey Matters number is 01795 583 547.
Tim, as always, it's great to have you here at BRFM. Thank you very much for coming along this evening.
Thank you, Daniel.
That's Tim Oxley here at BRFM, the Animal Control Officer here in Swale.